Okay, so the Saudi Arabia shows for the longest time have been you can entirely skip it. Think of this more kind of it's not the main story, it's like a tie-in. But holy cow, did they do an amazing job with Night of Champions. Which is going to be weird because we did Backlash in Puerto Rico, Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, our next one's in London. It's truly world wrestling entertainment. So let's try to get through this. Lots of solid matches, lots of good just overall storytelling. The main event was all storytelling. And again, a solid match. And the fallout for that is going to be incredible. All right, so here we go. We with AJ Styles and Seth freaking Rollins, who, that's my daughter's favorite wrestler. We saw them in Champagne, and she loved being able to sing someone's theme music. Great match, which, I mean, you'd expect. It's AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. You could probably have those two guys in the back and be like, all right, you're up next. We've got a match? Yeah. What's the build-up? And they would go, music playing, and they would probably go out there and put on an amazing match. And they did. I liked, Seth working selling an injury. AJ trying to take advantage of that. Nice, crisp. They did all of their moves that they wanted to do. Just really good storytelling. Of course, Rollins gets the victory, which, I mean, he should. This is a Raw title. If AJ would have won it, then you would break up the club, or you bring the club over to Raw. But then once AJ would lose, we go back to SmackDown. So, I mean, it made sense. Solid match. Great opener. I got the crowd super hyped into it. Followed by Trish and Becky Lynch. I think this is a good idea. Get those two matches out of the way first. That way then they can be backstage with their daughter. So, Trish, I know it's part of her repertoire, but the Stratosphere has been requiring a lot of additional help. It's an awesome looking move when she hits it, but she's not doing bottom rope handstands as part of her yoga routine. She's just not. First one, she did like a figure four with her legs, so Becky, to her credit, really had to quickly throw the legs up to get the move to look right. Becky came down looking like she just came out of Kill Bill, and Trish came down in black and pink. So we had two Canadian women who both came down in the exact same sort of gear. Match worked, really well. I think Becky's more brawling style works incredibly well with someone who hasn't had a lot of in-ring time recently. So, solid match, good back and forth. I liked when they did the spot where they both grabbed down each other's hair. That's how Trish got out of the disarmer. And then going from there, they just locked in each other's hair and then just really got into the nitty-gritty, like, we're going to beat the crap out of each other a bit. Which reminiscent of their hot open. I like when it's like, well, I hate you, so why do a collar elbow type into a headlock? No. Run punch somebody in the face. And I was like, good, get the crowd into it, get the crowd invested, run with that. Trish went under the ring for a bit, and I was like, is she going to grab something? Something coming out. And then Zoe Stark came down. Zoe Stark hit her Z360, which it needs the right size opponent to get that knee to not hit in the chest instead of hitting more like in the face and chin. Rolls Becky into the ring. Becky eats, Stratisfaction. I don't know if her head bounced when she came up. She had blood pouring down her nose. Trish gets the 1, 2, 3, and I was like, good. Good. If Trish wants to still be there, have her work like the occasional match. But use her to elevate Zoe, fantastic. And then you can do Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark. Both Becky and Seth are at a point now where they can lose a few matches here and there, and their shine won't come off. But they can use that to really elevate somebody else. And Zoe Stark has got a lot of great potential. So super excited where they go with that. So right now we're like 2 for 2. Gotta be my notes. Ali, Gunther. So Ali, they're in Saudi Arabia. Crowds are behind him, which is good. Nice back. Well, this is your typical Gunther match where he's going to sell some offense, and then he's going to hit you with the clothesline that folds you in half. You take the Rikishi bump, which he did. It was amazing seeing. So Gunther was, on the ropes, turnbuckle, and he's working over Ali. Ali then gets him off the turnbuckle and power bombs him. It was an incredible spot. And then hitting like a 450 in the crowd. 1, 2. Nah, it ain't happening. Big clothesline followed by the big power bomb, and Gunther retains, like you expected. I mean, he's like a few months away, I think, from being the longest reigning IC champion of all time. Fine. It's a great run. He puts on fantastic matches. You know, H was able to bring him across the ocean, which for the longest time, no one thought he would be stateside, except for a few matches here and there. So, loving it. It's going well. It also means too, whoever beats him, it's going to be a momentous moment, period. And now we get into other women's matches. Asuka, Bianca Belair. Much better than the previous matches. You know, when you have someone turn heel, they need to win. And this is very much Asuka's match to win. I enjoyed seeing Asuka go for the mist, but Bianca, who is no longer a dumb babyface, dodged it. So then you see the blue mist on her butt the rest of the match. And I was like, you know, that's good. It's someone who was like, wait, she spits. Gets out of the way. And I'm like, I like that. But then Asuka, she's a villain now. She's like, well, wait. I can't just spit in her face again. So what does she do? She gets near the ropes. You know, the ref's away. She spits the poison mist into her hand. And like rubs her fingers in her mouth. And I went, oh, she is doing things of mist. So now she has like blue dripping hands. Goes into the KOD. Rubs the poison mist all in Bianca's face. And I went, I love that. I absolutely love that. Well, I can't do the mist, but it's still poison. Same thing. Still gets the mist in her face. Gets the victory. 1, 2, 3. And I was like, oh, fantastic. Bianca's had a great run as champion, but I really want to see, you know, a villainous Asuka be that person and then give us a really solid money chase. It also freshens up the title scene. There's enough other people that Asuka can feud with, and you know, it's just good overall to keep the be a little bit of title churn. You can't have everyone just be title champions for incredibly long periods of time, but you can't change them too much, or they're the women's tag belts. And then the match that I was like, why is Natalie taking Rhea Ripley? But Natalya got distracted by Dominic, the boyish charms of Dominic. And then Rhea just MDK'd her, and I was like, fantastic. Hits the riptide, and I was like, man, if you went to the bathroom during this match, you might still be in line. That was incredible. Just really solid, and I was like, this should be a squash. Like, we had a premium live event squash. That means they flew these two women out to Jeddah. Had them get like custom gear for the Saudi Arabia show. Did minimal makeup, you know, gotta keep everyone in the country happy. And then just squashed her. Brilliant. Loved it. I'm like, good. Natalya there was no storyline that had this make any sense at all. Like, oh, you roughed up somebody. I'm going to face you in a foreign country. And she was like, yeah, you're below me. And then she killed her. And I'm like, perfect. Me describing the match and going through my emotions is actually longer than the match itself, which is perfect. Brock Lesnar one-armed Cody Rhodes. They're like the cast that he's wearing is made of titanium. So, of course, Cody takes, you know, some big suplexes, and then he looks and he's like, wait. Well, hits Brock in the head with it. And I was like, oh, I'm like, if he beats him with, like, armored forearm, I'm going to be fine with that. So how does he get back in the ring? How does he get back into the match? Just, I can punch you with my fist, or I can hit you with a forearm with my Iron Man arm. And I'm like, if he gets the victory because he has a broken arm, I'm like, I'm digging that. Of course, lots of Kimura, which, I mean, if you think about it logically, I'm going to break your arm. I have a simple fracture, but it's in a cast. Would the cast make it more difficult to break? I'm thinking, this is Lesnar. I don't think he's breaking bone and rending titanium. Maybe. But Brock looks like $1,000,000. His tan game is a lot stronger, but he still turns purple, and I love that. I love the fact that when he gets going into a match, his grimace on his face is literally the color of Grimace. And, you know, he had like the little, like, you know, mark on his forehead from getting dinked all the time. Lots of crossroads. Again, lots of Kimuras. And Cody just has the way of being like, nah, I'm not going to tap. Digging his nails into Lesnar's back to not tap out. I'm like, this is some great camera work. You see Cody's and Brock, ah, tap. Different positions of the Kimura. One where it looked more like a lover's embrace with the way that Brock was nestled onto Cody's crotch with his legs wrapped around him, screaming sweet nothings into his ears. And Cody loses. He doesn't tap, he passes out. And I was like, I'm totally cool with, how'd you lose this match? I lost this match by not giving up, but the pain was so much my body just shut down. I'm like, I'm fine with this. This is an okay loss. It's I didn't give up. I didn't surrender. I went with a broken arm. I lost the match, but I didn't quit. He didn't break me. And I'm like, well, if he did break you, he broke your arm. And I went, Cody got the crowd so behind him. Incredible babyface. When Cody hangs up the boots in a couple years, hopefully he spends more time at his wrestling academy. I think he would be such a fantastic coach. I mean, he's already doing the coaching stuff now, but the work that he can tell him, like, okay, here's what you do. Yeah. You can be a good guy and the crowd actually care about you. But just don't be weird, dopey good guy. Don't be 90% of babyface WWE roster. Be like, golly gee shucks, I'm glad I'm here. No, I lose every single match, but you know what? Gosh darn it, I'm plucky. No, go out there, have solid matches, have good in-ring psychology, sell it, you're getting the crap beat out of you, and if you can squeeze out a victory, squeeze out a victory. That wasn't the main event, but solid match. I'd almost say if you remove the blood from Backlash, this match was a lot better. But Backlash had blood, and blood in Puerto Rico always sells. Main event. Tag match. Sami Zayn came out last. Now, Sami actually got to make his pilgrimage to Mecca. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, he hasn't been allowed by the Saudi Arabian government to show up because he's Syrian. I saw him, but he's Muslim. Yes, he is. He's not the right kind of Muslim. She was like, oh. But he came out like in the Muslim prayer robe, and he actually spoke in, I'm assuming Arabic. Again, if I'm wrong, fill me in with that. I don't know all the languages of the world, nor the languages that would be spoke in Saudi Arabia. But this is the second time when it felt like Sami's had home court advantage. Crowd super behind him. And of course, Roman understands these things. I'm pretty sure, Dwayne has told him a few times, like, here's what you do. If the crowd's hot, let the crowd heat themselves up. You don't even need to touch each other. If the crowd is hot, the crowd's going to build anticipation for you to do the first move of the match. And what's Roman do? Teases the crowd. Then we get some Solo and Sami. Okay. Match itself, it's good. Roman puts on a good match. Solo's a tank. Sami and Kevin, amazing chemistry, work well. They know how to make these matches feel big. They know how to do proper big spots, pull it back a little bit, build, hit the explosion of emotion, build it back, build. They're not just killing the crowd the whole time. Usos come down and attack Kevin. But Roman's down. Roman doesn't see this. Again, great storytelling, fantastic way of booking, of framing the shots. They then light up Sami. They go to get Sami a double super kick. Sami falls. They nail Solo. Who sees this? Roman. Roman didn't see him being saved by the Usos. He saw the Usos super kicking Solo. He gets in the ring. He starts jaw-jacking. He gets super kicked. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing this for you. We the ones. I've been with you. I would never do these things to you. Roman, trying to stand up. Oh, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Super kicks Roman again. And he's like, I got you. We're going to do this. And Heyman on the back is like, no. We need more Samoans. Could Tamina work in this group? No. Are there other Samoans we don't know about that we could bring into this? I don't know why your family's huge. There's gotta be another Samoan somewhere. Could bring into this. Usos walk out on him. Solo is like, where'd my brothers go? Turned around. Stunner. Stumble into the corner. Which, awesome finishing sequence. Haluva kick. Cover. 1, 2, 3. But there ain't no ref. Ref slides in. 1, 2, 3. One of our end shots. Sammy holding both titles on a turnbuckle, looking down at Roman. And I was like, this is brilliant. Should be like, this blinding's gone on for too long. But it hits beats like this, and you're like, this is good. This is good long-term storytelling. It's like, and then when they fall apart, it's like, then whoever beats Roman, it's still going to be huge. Or else Roman's going to have to, lean on Solo and find some other people. Or break the Usos up for a little bit. And then you can recombine them. There's a lot of directions they can go, but I don't know how these Saudi Arabia shows went from like, we'll do the Legends match, where hopefully someone doesn't die or gets severely injured, and then it's like we're just gonna put on amazing matches that actually mean something and further storylines that are necessary to understand what's going on in the world of professional wrestling when it comes to WWE. Okay, but really solid event. And tomorrow night we got Battleground. Night before this was Under Siege, which was Impact. Great weekend of wrestling. Looking forward to see what they do with Money in the Bank in London. That card's going to be hot. This has been a really solid quarter for the E all of a sudden.